Hey, Charles here with Rocky Mountain, and today we're going to be showing you how to install a Tusk rear suspension lowering kit on your WP shock. Now, these suspension lowering kits, they lower the back of your bike 30 millimeters. They're easy to install and they're going to fit dirt bike and adventure bike shocks. Just type in your year, make, and model when you go to order to make sure you're getting the correct kit for your bike. With all that being said, it is going to affect the preload of your spring. So when we're all said and done, we're going to check our sag. Sag is usually going to be about 1/3 of your overall travel. We've got a separate video that goes over all you need to know about that, so check that out. But if you want to make sure that this spacer is going to fit without getting a shorter spring, you can take a look at the threads above your preload adjuster and make sure you have enough room up there. If not, you might need to order a shorter spring. So be aware of those things. And also, hey, this is the preferred way to lower a shock. And the reason for that is the lowering links, they're great. They get the back of the bike a little bit lower, but they do affect the geometry. And a lot of times you can get some hard bottom outs on your rear fender and it can actually stop the rear wheel. So this way is safer because you're going to hit that bottom out bumper and it's going to help prevent that rear wheel from just stopping on the rear fender. So all those things considered, you might want to look into lowering the front at the same time. With all that said, let's go ahead and get started. To get this done, we have our Tusk lowering kit right here. Now, as we put that in, we need a way to fill the shock with nitrogen. So we've got the nitrogen filling bolt from Race Tech. I've got a seal head setting tool, a depth gauge, a clip pick tool, and some spring compressors. Other than that, we're just going to be using common hand tools. So with that said, let's go ahead and get our lowering kit installed into the shock. Now, before I take anything off the shock, I do want to spruce it up real quick. We're going to wipe it down. All right, to start out, we've got a clean shock. And one of the first things you want to do is count the clickers on your compression assembly. You're going to rotate those all the way clockwise until it lightly seats. Count those clicks, write them down, and then back that adjuster off all the way. That's just going to help you in a later step when you actually have to make an adjustment with your piston location inside this reservoir. Since we've got this bleeder on top, all that fluid's going to have to travel through there. So it's just making the job a little bit easier. Now from here, we need to remove our spring. You can either use spring compressors like us just to make it a little easier, or just back off the preload adjuster. So you just want to compress the spring far enough to remove these half moon clips, and we can pull everything off. So we've got that seat, and the spring itself. Then we're going to take that washer off too. And we have this cap for the nitrogen bolt. Pop that off. We need to release the nitrogen. Be careful when you do this. We're just going to crack the bolt loose first and let the nitrogen come out. This is under a lot of pressure. I'm just using a 4mm Allen for this. And we'll pull the bolt off the rest of the way. There should be a little O-ring underneath there. Now this next step is really important. We're going to measure the depth of the piston inside of here. And when we go back together, we need to make sure that piston is in the same location that it's in right now. So I'm going to use my depth gauge. Got that all the way bottomed out, and then this just has an O-ring I'm going to push up against that reservoir. If you don't have one of those depth gauges, you can use your digital calipers. Take a measurement that way. Next, we're going to remove this cap right here. I'm going to use a sharpened chisel at the seam. Whatever you use, just make sure you hit the cap up evenly on both sides and work that off. So right here we have the seal head. There's some dirt and grime in there. I'm just going to spray that out real quick and make sure it's clean. Now we're going to take our seal head setting tool, and I'm going to push down on the seal head. We're going to push it down a quarter, half an inch, something like that. Next, we're going to remove this clip for the shock. There's just a little bit of grime left in there. I'm going to wipe it out. Next, I'm going to use a zip tie just to hold this cap out of the way to better show the process. You don't have to do this. Then from here, I'm going to install the O-ring from the lowering kit. Just going to put it around that shock body right there. Now for the lowering pieces, this stepped edge is going to be facing up. That's going to sit against the shock clip. So you can spread these apart, reconnect them. You can see those dowels hold them together. Then we're just going to put this O-ring around those two pieces. Now you do want to have just a little bit of lube or grease on this O-ring. And now we can push our lowering kit down into place. Then you just want to make sure this lowering spacer is pressed past the groove for your clip. Once it is, you can reinstall this. Just make sure the clip is fully seated in its groove. Now we just want to make sure we get this spacer seated against that clip. So I'm going to use some compressed air to push up on that piston, and that should set everything in place. Okay, so we saw that set everything in place. From here, what we need to do is we can reinstall this cap, and then we need to make some adjustments or check the height of that piston in the reservoir. And for the cap, I'm just making sure 2 of the holes are lined up with the eyelets in the shock. That way one of those is at the lowest point in case any moisture gets in there. So the next step is to clamp your shock in the vise so your bleeder is at the highest point. So some of these bleeders, they're going to be on top of the reservoirs, so keep that in mind. But for our shock, I'm actually going to cover the reservoir, clamp the eyelet, and again, that's going to keep the bleeder on top. All right, from here, we've got a drain pan underneath the shock. I'm going to make sure the piston is as far up as it can go in that reservoir right now. And I'm going to make sure the shaft is fully extended, which it is. So from here, what we can do is remove this bleeder bolt using my 5mm Allen. And as you do this, use some caution, but now we can use our depth tool and push in on that piston until we're at the correct depth. Just be really careful as you do this. If you press too hard, the piston's going to jump up. You're going to squirt a ton of oil everywhere. So we're going to go nice and easy. Boom, right there. So you can see we've got no air right there. I'm going to put the cap in. We'll get that tightened down. Perfect. Then we'll tighten the bleeder to 10 foot-pounds. Next, I'm going to install the nitrogen bolt. I already have my O-ring and washer on there. And now we're going to fill the shock to 145 psi of nitrogen, but if you're working on a different shock, make sure you check the spec in your manual. All right, now that we've lowered the shock, keep in mind you're going to have to adjust the preload for the spring to compensate for that change in length. So with that, our manual, it gives us the recommended preload for this bike, which is 18mm. On dirt bikes, a lot of times that's going to be around 10mm, but check your model specific service manual, and then you can double check your preload by checking your sag once you're all said and done. Typically you want the sag to be 1/3 of the overall travel, and we've got a separate how-to video that guides you through that process if you need more information. But for now, I've got the compressors off my spring, and I'm gonna take a free length measurement. So I'm 226mm. So I'm gonna write that down and then set the spring back on my shock. I already have my washer on there. Color on the bottom. I've got the adjuster all the way backed off. So I'm going to have to use those compressors so I can get these half moons back in place and then adjust the preload on the spring. Okay, so with our preload adjuster backed off most of the way, we just set this spring on and we're almost exactly at 208. So that's going to be our 18 millimeters of preload. But again, some bikes, you may have to go with a shorter spring to get the right preload on there. From here, we're going to set that bumper all the way to the top. All right, now I'm going to reset my low speed compression adjuster. And then we also want to adjust this clamp for the preload adjuster. You can wait to do this till it's on the bike to make sure it's in a position that you can reach it while the shock is on the bike, just in case you need to make adjustments. Now with the shock buttoned up, we're ready to throw this back into the bike. Now to reinstall the shock back onto the bike, we'll set it in place, install the upper and lower shock mounting bolts. We'll torque them down. We're going to swing this gas tank down into place. We've got our muffler, our plastics, and our seat. So that's it for installing the Tusk rear suspension lowering kit on your WP piston style reservoir shock. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments, and if you need to pick one of those up, they're available on our website. Click the link in the description below. Orders over $75 ship free. And hey, if you want to see more helpful content like this, subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.